All right, folks. Mark here again, doing my research. Real quick, just want to. Last video I talked about, adaptation, evolution, evolving, and change. And so I just want to say real quick, the reason why it's so hard for us to change, and this might be useful for you, you can put it into practice if it's practical or not. The reason why it's so hard for us to change, uh, aside from comfort zones, which is very simplified explanations of why it's so hard for us to change, we're comfortable with the conditions, the circumstance, or the events that we find ourselves in or with, the habits, right? Creatures of habits, right? Uh, Scientifically, uh, Galileo, Galileo Galilei. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. I always have a hard time saying it, but Galileo Galilei, which was a philosopher, right? He talked about inertia. You can go research this stuff, look it up, inertia. And he says that in all matter, right? He found out that in all matter existed inertia. And inertia is just it's a force that keeps things in place, right? Later, after Galileo, Newtonian physics came out, and Newton spoke on object at rest, stay at rest, objects in motion, stay in motion. These are the laws of motion, scientific evidence, conclusive evidence as to why you resist change. Going back to Galileo, it's very important to understand what he was telling us, that within all matter exists inertia, right? Inertia is a resistance, a resistive force, right? Inertia is a resistive force. Also, objects at rest, staying at rest, objects in motion, staying in motion is also considered inertia. If you look up inertia in your standard dictionary, you'll see stuff like sluggishness. You'll find, these definitions in like a Merriam standard, dictionary. But if you look up inertia and you study it from a more scientific definition, uh, you'll notice that inertia doesn't just mean to stay still, right? Moving can be inertia. Movement in one direction, uh, and not altering or accelerating, right? If you're driving a car at 10 miles an hour and you maintain 10 miles an hour for a mile and a half or 2 miles, that is considered inertia. You're moving at a set pace for a set duration, and there is no acceleration. And acceleration in terms of physics means an alteration or a change in direction or velocity. So you maintain a set velocity, you maintain a set directionality, and there is no alteration whatsoever. So that would be considered inertia. So anything that stays in place physically or stays in motion on a continuous basis would be considered inertia. So both Newtonian physics, the second law, I believe it's the second law, no, actually it's the first law, object at rest, stay at rest, object in motion, stay in motion, and Galileo's laws of resistive force found in all matter substantiates why you refuse to change. I hope that makes sense. Till next time, I'm getting back to studying right now. Peace.